One thing that I felt like I can control is I could just try to be the best actor. Sometimes a character just leaps off the page to you. How are you?
Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful.
Please.
Whatever. Look at you. You look so good. You look so you're
Thanks.
glowing. You look so happy.
Really?
Yeah. I was trying to remember the last time I saw you, and I think it was the day you got the call,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
Nancy texted me and said, are you around? Because we have some celebrating to do. And we hopped in the hot tub and popped some bubbly.
Yeah.
And even at that point, like, I don't think you knew much, right? Like, you didn't really know. You had an idea of the script and that you got the role of Eve, but you didn't really know much more beyond that, right?
Oh, I didn't. I think in many ways they didn't even know that much, to be honest. Like they were really kind of crafting her as we filmed. So I didn't know that much about her to start. And I don't think the writers even knew exactly who she was. So it was kind of cool to like find that together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely that was a big moment. That was so cool that you were there for it and we popped champagne in your hot tub. It was epic.
Yeah. That was a core memory. That's definitely a core memory for me. I felt so special to be included in that with
Oh,
Manny and with Nancy and
yeah, you were so
um yeah, I get really excited about this stuff if you haven't realized.
I
Like,
love it.
this is like all my jam. I remember being like not worried about you, but I was like, oh my God, like she's going to Hollywood and there's going to be so many pressures. And is she, like, is she going to be okay? And you were just like,
Mm,
I got this. Like
mm,
everything's changed. Like Hollywood has changed. Like we talked about this a little bit, but the whole Harvey Weinstein era, people are like on alert and careful now, right? Like
exactly.
after going through all of this and shooting season one, would you say the same thing that things are better?
Oh yeah, I mean, the level of care and thoughtfulness on sets now is nothing like it once was, where everything just like, I mean, I have horror stories, but
Yeah.
just like how women, young women especially, being kind of treated as objects in one way or the other, not even necessarily sexual objects, but just objects, um, was really just par for the course. And like at the beginning of my career, I didn't even question it that much because I just was like, oh, I guess this is the tax of being a woman. Like I think as a lot of women do as we
Yeah.
as we grew up being like, oh, I just have to deal with this. I just have to deal with men's uninvited attention or whatever it is. And now it's so different. Look, it's kind of a controversial topic in that some people will be like, well, men are just scared. Like they're just scared of being canceled or they're scared of,
Mm.
being called out. And there's a part of me that's like, maybe, but it's a hell of a lot safer. Like
Yeah.
I would hope it's not just that men are respecting women on set because they're scared. I would
Scared.
hope it's because they're seeing them as equals and they realize this is a professional space and you can't act like that and make someone uncomfortable, aware of power dynamics, aware of gender dynamics. But even if it's just that they're scared, I'm still like,
Okay with that.
honestly, the women feel safer. Thank
Yeah.
God. The
Yeah.
just the rampant like the rampant sexualizing, the rampant, you know, disrespect and um yeah, it feels so different. It feels so different. There's
That's
like
so good.
remnants of things sometimes, but what it feels so different now. Like it feels like we have language for it. I can talk to someone about it. I can talk to um, you know, a producer about it, or I can talk to a colleague about it. I think before people were really
Yeah.
pressured and silent and
Exactly what you said. Like before, people just thought, okay, well, I chose this career. therefore I'm paying the tax. Like that's really how it was. Um, Definitely in the music industry, that's how it was, like way back in the day. Um, I don't think the music industry got hit as hard with the Me Too movement as Hollywood did, but it's it's definitely changing. But I was just having this conversation the other day with someone where um, he was saying similarly, in the workplace, it's just like you can't even joke anymore, and you're scared all the time, and it kind of came to me. I was just thinking, like, it'll it almost should be that way until I'm comfortable at least walking my dog at night wearing headphones. Like I won't do both at the same time because I feel like I'm always on alert, you know. And that's just, I mean, that's just walking around my neighborhood, right? Like
Yes.
we've still got a ways to go. But I want to talk a little bit. There's a story. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but I think you mentioned it when we in the hot tub that day. So when you got the call that
Mhm,
you were going to do a chemistry read,
mhm.
that was pretty fast. Like you had to kind of hop up and fly out to Hollywood and do this read. And do you want to talk about what that read was like?
Yeah, absolutely. So it actually was a kind of a beautiful sequence of events because I actually was already in LA just on like a trip. Like it was right after New Year's. We were in Vegas. We drove to LA, and uh my man, it was like January 3rd or something. My manager was like, so they want you for a callback for Frasier. And I was like, okay. And then he sends me the email with all the details, and it's like chemistry read with Kelsey Grammer. And I was like,
Holy,
for James Burrows, like
oh my
meaning he
God.
will be in the room, who I had just listened to on Smartlist, which is a podcast I listened to, and almost shouldn't have listened to it because it made me so intimidated because he's directed more episodes of TV than anyone on the planet. He created
Mhm.
Cheers. He's like a legend.
Yeah.
And so anyway, they were like, yeah, so I think that was 2 days later was the chemistry read. And I spoke to the casting director the day before, and he was like, just so you know, they're not going to laugh. Like, no one's going to laugh in the room. Don't get thrown off. I was like, okay, good to know. So then I get to the lot. First of all, auditioning at a Hollywood lot is so intimidating.
Oh my God. I can't
It
even
is,
imagine.
and this is the Paramount lot, which is like one of the most beautiful, iconic studio lots in Hollywood. It's right in the middle of Hollywood, and it used to be Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz's studio that merged into Paramount.
Uh,
It's like the beautiful arches and like
yeah.
fountains, very like
The history.
the history is wild. Like they filmed so much on that lot. So, you know, driving in, um, luckily I had been there before. It wasn't the first time I've been there, but I'd been there for another audition. So anyway, driving on, and Kelsey is behind me, like in the car behind me in like a convertible. And Manny, my partner, says this sometimes that like because he was in the car, he drove me to the lot, and he always says there was something about Kelsey being behind us, like that you saw him before the audition. He's like, I knew in that moment that you got it, and I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Whatever. I didn't know that, but he's like, it just felt like a good omen. I don't know
yeah.
why. It just felt like good. Anyway, and then I'm like kind of, it's a bit of a maze. So you're sort of moseying around, you're seeing like different sets. It's like kind of crazy, right? There's a bunch of shows filming, so there's like trailers and all this stuff. Anyway, found where I was supposed to be. I haven't been in an audition room for 3 years because of COVID. And
COVID.
yeah, so we've been doing everything via self-tape, so from home. So that alone was like, oh my God, I have to go back into a room. That's a whole other trip. Like, also the worst part about auditions in my view is the waiting room. Like because you're with your competition. You're sitting right
Yeah.
beside your competition, and you have every opportunity to second guess yourself. If they're wearing a different kind of outfit, or they styled their hair in a certain way, or if they're really beautiful, or if they're famous, or like something, anything could throw you off. Like it's such a recipe for doubting yourself.
Yeah.
Um, and it
How,
was all
sorry, how do you calm yourself down in those moments? Like, what do you do? Like that
now,
is it like
now I'm
imposter
better.
syndrome?
Yeah, there's definitely imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
I'm a lot better at it now than I used to be.
Okay.
When I was younger, I feel like sometimes I'd like go into the bathroom and furiously try to change my outfit to look like someone else's, or like change
Uh,
my hair, or like be like, oh, or just be, I would just let it knock my self-esteem. Like,
yeah.
just if it looked like they were getting along well with the casting people and had a relationship with them, I would feel intimidated and be like, oh, they're going to get the job,
Yeah.
and so you could feel that energy when you go into the audition room. You're not as confident, and it's just sort of like, oh, you're going to go with someone else anyway, or whatever. In this case, it was interesting because I took a big risk with how I like dressed myself. I like wore my hair in this crazy space buns, like
Cute.
was I looked super kooky, like lots of patterns,
Amazing.
and I kind of, and this is just experience. I was like, you're probably gonna see people dressed differently, very different vibe than you in the waiting room. That's fine.
Mhm.
You thoughtfully made a choice, stick with it. It's too late. Like no matter what, just go in there confident with the choices you've made.
Hmm.
Um, so, and there was also a part of me that like kind of didn't necessarily think I was gonna get it. Like
Okay.
I wasn't all like, I wasn't desperate. I have been in the past for other jobs,
Yeah.
but I was kind of like, this is funny. Like, what a weird occurrence. I never imagined I'd be on a sitcom. Like, I kind of was just like, I'll do my best. I'm going to act like a professional. I'm going to be a professional.
Hmm.
Sprinkle some fairy dust and get
Yeah.
the heck out of the room. That's it. That's my job. And if I can do that, I will be proud of myself.
Hmm.
Because I, again, experience, I was like, I know I'm a professional now. I don't have to
Yeah.
fake it. I feel like I know how to conduct myself on set. I know how to do the work.
Hmm.
I I feel good about that. I
You
don't
were
question.
ready. You were
Yeah,
ready.
in a way, yes. And so in that way, remembering like you can't control anything else. All you can control is literally how how you feel about yourself, and just focusing on the work. Like just do the work. Everything else is up to chance. Just, remember your lines, be focused,
Yeah.
be present with him, with your scene partner, in this case,
Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer. Be present with him, and that's all you can do. Um, it was funny in the waiting room. They kind of had us in all these little tiny rooms. So I was in a little room with two women, and they knew each other. And I was just eavesdropping on their conversation. And one of them was like, and look, no shade. I don't even know who they are. I have no idea. But one of them was drinking one of the, those like 2-liter water bottles.
Yeah.
It's like huge
Yeah.
water bottle. One of them was drinking out of it, and the other one goes, "Oh, you drink those?" And she goes, "Yeah, I drink 2 of these a day and I don't eat. It's great."
Oh yeah. Holy. That's so sad.
I know. I was like, this is so stereotypical LA that like it's funny. Like I kind of, I wasn't taking it all so seriously. I think that's the bottom line. Is I kind of
Yeah.
was like, this is so funny. Like this is the most LA thing someone could say, and they just said it. And like I'm just sitting here. Um,
Yeah.
so it put me, I don't know, I just kind of had a levity about it all.
Yeah.
And then I went in the room and it was very, like no small talk. There was probably felt like there were 15 men in the room, just men. Um, there was one young woman, she was the camera operator because they were filming the
Hey,
audition.
of course. Wow. So a little
So,
intimidating
yes, and it
with
was a
Kelsey.
small room. Yeah, and it was a small room, so it felt like very like they were like right here. Like really close. And I walk in, like, hello, hello. Kelsey's like, hi, shakes my hand, nice to meet you, great. And then James Burrows is like, okay, first scene. So no small talk. I was like, okay, no problem. I was hoping for no small talk, to be honest. I hate the small talk in
Yeah.
audition because
You're
it takes
focused.
exactly, you're focused and all of a sudden you have to be charming and like kind of, talking
Yeah.
about whatever. And it's like, no, I just want to do the job. I just want to do the work and we can talk after, I guess, but let me do my job. So anyway, luckily that's what they let me do. So Kelsey was lovely. We do the scene, just do one scene once. Great. Second scene. Okay, perfect. They wanted me to read with also with Jack, who's playing
Okay. And that
Freddie.
was the first time you met him.
Yep.
Okay.
And so read with him and Frasier or with Kelsey. And yeah, did both scenes once and they're like, thank you, bye. Like literally,
Didn't they laugh?
but they laughed.
They
That was
laughed.
that was the one thing that I was like, okay, cool. I feel good about that. I was like,
Yeah. Like they warned
that's
you that nobody would laugh and
mhm.
not to take offense, but they laughed because you're friggin' hilarious. You are
Aw.
so good. Jess,
Wait.
everybody I talk to about this reboot, one of the first things people say is that, okay, and I know you're humble and everything, but that you're one of the best characters on the show.
Aw,
Because, okay,
cute.
so you are like, um, so Nancy got me in, when we connected the dots and it was over a campfire when she was like, "Oh, my sister's like famous and she's in Working Moms." And I was like, "What? Like this is crazy." But I had seen a lot of your stuff, but it was really serious. Like a lot of the like
Mm,
Canadian Strain had funny moments, but it was
pretty
serious,
dramatic.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And like so we're um when Frasier came out, I think it was like the first 3 episodes. I'm next door and we're having a Frasier party, and within like the first 5 minutes of the pilot, uh, I laughed so hard I spit water all over the kids in front of me, and I was like, "She's funny!" Like, I mean, you are so like the character of Eve is so everything.
First of all, you're so sweet. Thank you. And doing a spit take is the ultimate compliment to anyone doing comedy.
Oh,
Seriously.
everywhere. Poor Ozzy, all over the back of his head. And he just turns and looks at me, and I'm like, it was a genuine belly laugh. But there,
That's
there also have been genuine tears. Like I've binge watched the whole thing several times, and
oh,
it's just so, it's so well written. The script, everything, like every actor in the Frasier reboot is just perfect. And it's also one of those shows I find that it's like character building, right? So the more episodes that go by, the more you fall in love with each character, you know? And it's just, anyways, I could gush. I don't want to gush too much.
this is like really warming my heart.
But
Thank
you're the
you.
best. You really are. You are so talented. I think that um like this is probably like the biggest break of your career, but I just think it's the tip of the iceberg for you. I
Oh,
think like major things are coming your way.
thank you.
Yeah, and I got
Oh
goosebumps too, so that usually means it's true.
God, that means so much. It really does. It really does. Especially like we're like awaiting to hear about season two. We haven't been officially renewed yet, so
Okay.
we're like
Oh my God.
waiting, which
Oh, I
is
hope so. It seems like it's just the buzz right now. Everyone's talking about it. It's all over social media.
I think people have liked it. I mean, I agree that the writers really hit the tone so well. because that's a really hard thing to do, in terms of bringing back something that's beloved, but
Mhm.
updating it and like preserving, what people love about it. And then having all these new characters. It's not an easy feat at all.
Yeah.
Um,
And also just the balance of like the balance of humor and grief, right? Like I
yeah.
feel like you guys did that so well, where, there was a few times where like, tearing up and really emotional, and then in the next breath it's like belly laughing. Like that's an art.
I really think that has a lot to do with Kelsey, actually, like where he was at and
Mm,
where he's at in his life. I think he was so tender. He would get emotional a lot. Like the
yeah.
tears you see, those are real. And he had them in rehearsal. Like
Wow.
he like every day he was right there, like super. I think he's just really grateful that he's getting this chance. He's at a very different time in his life. I, I think it was very public with some stuff he went through, and I, yeah, I just feel like he was so sweet. He was so generous.
Genuine.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here's a question. Do you feel like any parts of her are like the real Jess? Like,
Um,
do you feel like you have to really like, is this like a stretch to act like her, or do you feel like there's parts that are like naturally you? Is that a weird question?
Not at all. That's a great question. One of my best friends who lives in Australia, she's watching the show with her new boyfriend who's never met me because they live in Australia. And so this is her in a way introducing her best friend to her boyfriend,
Wow.
but it's a character. And
Yeah.
so she feels like she has to keep saying to him, that's not Jess. And he's like, yeah, I know.
Wow.
And she's like, no, I need you to understand. She wouldn't say that. That's a character. And I was like, that's
That's
so
cute.
funny. But then I've also spoken to people, from Winnipeg, from my hometown, that have known me my whole life, that are like, wow, that's just you. Isn't that so fun that you just get to play yourself? And
Interesting.
I feel like I've found somewhere in between. I I mean, she's also an actress, which is funny. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, in other ways, it's like my friend in Australia said, like I wouldn't say that, or I wouldn't make that choice. Jess wouldn't. But there is an essence that feels very similar, like easier to tap into. When I did my first audition, which was from home, I think I did my takes. I think I did like one take of each scene, which is like insane considering I usually do like, I don't know, 10 to 20.
Yeah.
So it was something that felt very, and it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes a character just leaps off the page to you and you're
Yeah.
just, oh, I get it. Or, oh, and with her, it's not even that I got her. It's just like, I get her rhythm. I don't know how else to say it. Like there was something that I understood.
Whenever I talk to someone, I like to go back and see other interviews they've done. So I don't ask the same kind of generic questions, but um, I watched one, and it was from a long time ago, where you talked about growing up in Winnipeg and your parents owning a furniture store, and how, just how it was growing up as a little girl, and how um not necessarily acting was always in your blood, but like you always sort of had an interest in people and human behavior, and how you were the youngest, so you would watch your sisters or your parents, and if there were arguments going on, you would always be very attentive and like kind of read between the lines and be like, okay, they're angry, but they're angry because they're feeling frustrated, or they're not feeling seen. And so in a way, you're like, becoming an actress makes sense, right? Because you have to be an expert on human behavior. You have to be able to read between the lines and really get to know a character, right? Would you say I'm right a little bit?
Absolutely,
Okay,
yes.
you kind of have to embody every character, right? And really dig in and become them. So I guess the question is, have you ever been in the middle of like playing a character but had a hard time separating who you are from the character? Like, do you ever get lost in it and have friends be like, hey, like, Jess, wake up, you're not acting, or you're not, Eve, or you're not, is it Marianne from Letterkenny? Is that your name?
Yes.
Yeah, like that's a huge leap. You're definitely nothing like her.
Yeah. I always find that these characters do often leave a mark on you somewhere. And
Mm,
um there's something sometimes that you realize about yourself or discover about yourself while playing a part
interesting.
that um yeah, that I think is like a little seedling that sometimes grows into something a little bit bigger. Like you might become a bit curious about something that you discover through a character, or that your character does that you don't do in your normal life or whatever, right? And in terms of getting sort of stuck in something, not I've never had that in the way that like some method actors have, or like, I don't know if you watched the Jim and Andy documentary about Jim Carrey taking on Andy Kaufman. Anyway, it's a
Not yet,
wild
but
documentary.
yeah, I get the idea.
Yeah.
I did just read Britney Spears' book
Oh,
that she, have you
I
read it?
no, should I?
It's really good. Yeah, it's really eye-opening. But
Yeah.
I asked because she talked about acting and becoming so encased in her role that people around her started to notice her personality was sort of changing. And I just wondered, is that something that actors and actresses have to cope with? Like, is that
I
part for
mean,
parcel, you know?
there's definitely been when I've played characters that are, I'd say, more free than I am in
Okay.
there, and I mean in that they don't care about social graces, they don't care about what, people think about them. I do find myself, Jess, kind of influenced or inspired by them. Like I
Yeah.
sometimes like, whoa, that character would just bust in there, know their worth, they don't care.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm like, okay, I need to like access that.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then there's times where you just, I mean, the beautiful part of movies and theater and all of this is when you see someone that you normally would judge, and you by
Mm,
the end of the story completely understand why they made the choices they made. um,
yes.
and that is so beautiful. And I think um, the best actors are really good at not being super judgmental of their characters, and open to all the all of the heartbreak and all of the you know shame and grief.
Yeah. Like you
um
have to be empathetic in a way to really try to understand, I guess, that the character
I-
that you're playing, like walk in someone else's shoes. You literally are.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've definitely had, when I've had to go through, let's say like in horror movies and stuff, which are, I gotta say, horror movies, I respect the shit out of the actors, because that is hard work. It looks like, well, obviously there's sometimes that the acting is kind of phoned in. It's not like
Right.
real. But when an actor really goes for it and kind of goes through the trauma of whatever's happening in this horrific story,
Yeah.
there it does sort of stay in your nervous system for a while. For sure. I've definitely had that. I've even had that in acting classes where you're like exploring something and it's like so intense and your
Yeah.
body's still shaking for like hours after or whatever it is. That definitely happens. Some people might stay in that for longer. Some people might get out of that easier. I don't know. I feel like have a pretty good relationship with that, where it might linger. Like when you're nervous, when you stress your nervous system out, essentially is what it is. And
Yeah.
being able to soothe yourself after and like kind of let it go and try to remember that it wasn't real.
Yeah. How do you soothe yourself? Like, how do you, and not even necessarily after, say, um, like a really intense acting session. Like, what about even when it comes to rejection in the industry? Because you're constantly putting yourself out there, and you've been doing this for how long?
Yeah, I'd say professionally, like in terms of, I'd say like when I graduated college. So yeah, like about 13 years. Having a community of
Mm,
artists, it doesn't have to just be actors, but people who are taking a big kind of risk, um, is really helpful. Having people that can really empathize with rejection is helpful.
yeah.
Um, the thing is, this game, it's such a game of tenacity. It's really that 99% of this job is rejection.
Mhm.
I've found for me, it's been really important to also constantly be in class, like in acting classes, like on and off. But because when I haven't had the creative release of doing a job, or the the victory of getting a job, class has sort of supported that for me.
Mm,
Like a great class with people you really trust and a good teacher that's not like a cult leader, which is a real thing with a lot of acting classes. But if you find like a good community of people and you're able to be creative
mhm.
and grow and
Yeah, like hone your craft.
totally, and also though it gives you the thing you're longing for anyway. So then when you go out in the job market, you're not so desperate. Like you have it already at
Yeah.
home in a way. Like, and it's completely in your control. Like I can go once, twice a week and get to connect with someone, with a scene partner, do this awesome thing, get directed and feel good about it. Um, and that helps me be more relaxed when I go try to get a job, because
Mhm.
I'm not putting all of that on the job. Also, I feel like one of the worst advice I ever was given in theater school was to get a really bad part-time job so that I will always be motivated for my career.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like, that's the worst. Like,
Advice.
it was the worst advice.
Yeah.
The last serving job I had was at a restaurant where I loved going to work. My manager was amazing. His partner was also an actor, so he really understood, having to take time off for plays or auditions or whatever. I loved my staff. It was so fun. The money was good. I wasn't in a rush to get out of there. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
like I need an acting job or I'm gonna like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was like, I'm in a healthy work environment.
Yeah.
Then it allowed me to be more relaxed and that's the thing about acting. It's like 95% of the job is relaxation. You just have to be relaxed
Yeah.
while thousands of people, millions of people maybe are watching you. That is
Yeah.
a pretty hard thing to do. And but that's what people want to watch. People want to watch someone on stage or on screen that's relaxed so that you don't have to stress out. The worst thing is when you're in an audience and you're stressed for the actor and you're like, oh no, they forgot their line, or oh no, like they're missing it, they're missing the mark. Like, you just want to see someone be relaxed no matter what.
Yeah,
And
well, that like goes back to what you were talking about, the chemistry read, and that like even when you were telling the story about being in the room, it's obvious that you were confident, not necessarily that you were going to get the job, but you were confident in who you are, and every decision you made to get there, and being like, you already had work, and you've got work that, kept coming to you. So it was like, I really want this, but I'll be okay if I don't get it. Right. And so I think that confidence too, but the community is something I always preach about too, with my clients, is just, regardless as to if they're, where they're at. I do coach a lot of recovered or recovering addicts, and nobody can do it alone. And that really goes for life, I think, in general. Like, we all need support and community. So if you can find something that supports your dreams, then all the better.
Absolutely.
So
And sorry, go
yeah,
on.
no, go. Oh,
I was just gonna say, like, in terms of, in specific to acting, when people ask, how do you make it, or I don't know, what do you do, what's your advice? I'm like, look, there's like 3 ways to make it. You're the 0.1% of gorgeous people in the world. 2, nepotism. Your parents are famous or something.
Yeah, money.
Someone, yeah, or money. And 3 is you're just really good. So what do you want to put your effort into? If you're not blessed with the 0.1% most perfect, beautiful people, don't focus on that. Like, or you could try to do a million surgeries and become, but I don't think that's gonna help. Anyway, the point is, the one thing that I felt like I can control is I could just try to be the best actor possible.
Yeah.
For me. So that's the other thing about class, is like, stop trying to focus on, I need to be at this party, or I need to do this, or I need to like meet this person. It's like, why don't you just be good, and then they won't be able to ignore you anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it's the only thing you can control.
Yes, that's what I say. Be so dedicated to your craft and get so good at it that no one ever questions how you got to where you are.
Yeah.
But it's discipline. People have a hard time disciplining themselves. And then, they can say, I really want this. I really want to be a whatever, a professional snowboarder, or I really want to be a famous actress, or I really want to be a rock star. But their everyday lives don't necessarily reflect that, right? Like, it's hard. It can be hard for people to be disciplined, but I think it's the only way. I have another question for you, and I'm really aware of time, so I'm not going to keep you forever, but how has your life changed since getting the role of Eve and Frasier?
It's not a massive, like, rocketed to the stratosphere change.
Okay.
In that, it's not like, I'm not at the Oscars or something like that, but
Not yet. Soon. It's coming.
I will say that it's an interesting thing when you're a Canadian and you go work in the States as an actor, and then you come back to Canada. There is a level of I don't know, it's like, it's almost like I fled the nest, not in a bad way, but in a very like, what's it like over there? And
Yeah.
what's been so nice to say, it's like, it's not that different. It's not really even different at all. The work is still the same. Everyone still has the same positions on set. Working there felt the same as working here, which surprised me. I didn't expect that, actually. I thought it was going to be like so crazy, and that like
Yeah.
makeup artists were going to be like, you need to get injections here, 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 here. You need to go to this doctor. Like, I was like, is it going to be like that? I don't know. It's not. It's not at all. It's made me really love this format, specifically sitcoms, which I did not expect to like as much as I do. It's scary to be on a show like this that you feel very exposed. And also
Yeah.
what I didn't appreciate was it being a reboot, that people are going to have expectations,
Mm-hmm.
good or high, like high or low expectations, but
Yeah.
people are going to want to feel a certain way about it, which is scary. Like, yeah, you feel like you're in the line of fire a bit. And so far it's been so much love. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Overwhelmingly like positive and good. Um,
Awesome.
but it's exposing. It's scary.
Yeah. Well, more people know who you are now. Like, do you get recognized more? Like in Toronto or wherever,
I,
do people stop and ask you for autographs and
uh,
pictures and
um, not really. Like, people recognize me, but I would say that people still mostly recognize me from Working Moms. And
yeah,
like,
that was
like,
huge. That was a
yeah,
huge land. Yeah.
I find in Toronto, I mean, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but I'd say in Toronto, people don't expect to see actors walking down the street. So sometimes they don't, like, I have a lot of people go, how do I know you? There's a lot of
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Like, oh, you're so familiar. I've met you before, when I know I haven't met them, or
Yeah.
whatever. There's that kind of thing, but it's not necessarily like you're an actor. It's just like, I don't know how I know your face,
Yeah.
which really, like,
Do you
it's
say, well, I'm kind of
fun.
famous?
It's no, I tried it. My friends always think it's funny, like, and it's not just me. Look, a lot of actors, it's the
Yeah.
same thing. And I've done the same thing to actors too, where I've been like, I've met you before, and I'm like, oh my God, they're on my favorite show. What am I talking about?
Oh my
But
gosh.
um, I always, it's an awkward thing because you sometimes are like in line at the grocery store, so you don't want to go into this whole thing of, I think you're recognizing me from a TV show, but and then they go, what TV show? And
Yeah.
then you have to list your resume. While
That would
just
be
you
so annoying.
don't want to launch into that while people are like waiting in line behind you. So sometimes you just go, oh yeah, and then you'll be like, oh, I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've seen you here before. Like, I just
Yeah. Yeah. I live in the
don't go into
area.
the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe it is that. It'd be more embarrassing if I was like, oh, trust me, it's because I'm an
I'm
actor,
on
and
I'm on Frasier and
they're like, I don't watch TV.
oh man. Okay. Final question for you, okay? Before I let you go. Because we're gonna manifest this. So okay, so if you could choose any co-star, okay, anyone in the world, who would you want to work with? Who are you dying to work with?
Do you know who Christopher Abbott is? Do you know who that actor is?
I know the name.
So he was in Girls. He's on this movie called Poor Things. It's this new movie. It's a movie that's out with Emma Stone.
Okay. I'm
Anyway,
writing it down. I'll check him out.
I just saw him do a off-Broadway play in New
Mhm.
York, and it's a two-hander, it's a two-person play, and I was supposed to do the female part in Toronto at the same time that he was doing the male part in New York,
Wow.
but mine fell through, didn't end up doing it. He did the New York one with Aubrey Plaza, and it's one of my favorite plays of all time, and he was absolutely incredible in it. I can't imagine someone doing a more truthful, beautiful, honest uh version of that. So he has been like the now unfortunately I've put him on this pedestal of like, this is like a dream scene partner. Like he was unbelievable. So I would, and him, what he exhibited to me and why I would love to work with him is he's so vulnerable. He's so emotionally present, and I think especially seeing a man do that
Yeah.
is really powerful, because
Inspiring.
we know how hard it is for men because they're socialized to be tough and thick-skinned. So to watch a man be like so honestly tormented, and it's remarkable, and
Wow.
it's gutsy. It's so gutsy. So like I'll say him, but also it doesn't have to be him. It's what he represents to me.
Yeah.
It's scene partners that are like
Raw, like
so
able to
raw,
just, yeah.
so raw,
Yeah.
and um so full of life
Mm.
that you can't help but be as revealed
Oh, I love that.
in
Oh, yeah.
orbit. I just want to be that raw.
Oh,
Like I
yeah.
would love a part this year that's like I have to shed so much stuff and be like
Oh, yeah.
kind of beating
I
heart.
I just got goosebumps again. So that probably means it's coming your way. I don't know. I don't know, but I just felt that huge. I feel that like I feel like in a sense, obviously not in the same way, but that's kind of where I'm at right now in life with my, like, even with friendships. And I'm sure the next time you come over, we'll get to know each other more. But my life has changed so much over the past 5 years, and I find now I only have room for people in my life who I can just be raw and open with and be myself with, because when you are like that, it's like you encourage the other person to be like that. It's like creating safety. And it's the most beautiful thing that another human can do for another human. So I can
Absolutely.
only imagine in your career, in what you do, how important that is. You
Yeah.
know?
And how many people you liberate by doing that. Like how cathartic it is to watch someone do that
Yeah.
on screen or stage or whatever, and then you go, holy, I feel that despair sometimes. I feel that ashamed sometimes. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, we're all just walking each other home, you know what I'm saying? Like, whew,
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Ah, I adore you. I've loved this conversation. Thank you
Me
so
too.
much. I
Thank
feel I
you.
feel so special that you took time for me. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, anytime. Honestly, this was so wonderful. It's like
Yeah.
lifted my spirits.
Oh, I'm glad. Mine too. Yeah, I'm like buzzing, and the kids are coming home. Um, Bella was sad to miss you this year. She calls you
Oh,
TJ. She calls you TJ
oh,
as well. So I told her we were talking today, and she said to say hi. So
oh,
next
hi,
time you're in
honey.
town, we'll all get together for a
Absolutely.
big meal.
I'm
Okay,
very into that.
awesome. Well, you have a great day,
Okay.
and we'll be in touch soon.
Thank you again.
I'm sending you so
Thank you.
much love.